This is Tier 1, Lesson 4, Solving Simple Cubics. To solve a cubic function, we need the cube root now. Notice how we have this little 3 up here. Before, we just had square root, which didn't have a number on it. Well, if there's no number, we know it's a square root. We just don't write the number. We're going to find the cube root. So what that means is we need to break down this 40 into our factor tree. So I'm going to start with 2 and 20. There's a prime. And I keep going with 20. 2 and 10. There's a prime. And I keep going with 10. 2 and 5. There's a prime. And 5's a prime. Now I know I'm done. So I'm going to rewrite these in triples this time because I'm looking for triples. So this is 2 cubed times 5, right? 2 times 2 times 2 with a 5 left over. And when I do my cube root, a cube and a cube root will cancel each other out, which makes sense from before, right? Remember with square and square root canceling out? Square and square root. Well, a cube and a cube root will cancel out, leaving 2. And then the 5 is left over inside. So 2 cube roots of 5 would be our simplified cube root. Okay, so we're going to use that right now to solve this. So remember, I've used my natural instincts of solving, and I'm going to move 64 to the other side. So minus 64. And we have x cubed equals negative 64. Well, now I'm going to undo my cube with the cube root. So my cube root will cancel my x cubed, and I'll just have x. And then I'll need the cube root of negative 64. So what I need to do is I need to take my negative 64 and break it down. 64 breaks into 2 and 32, 2 and 18, 2 and 16, 2 and 8, 2 and 4, 2 and 2. Well, here's a triple, and here's a triple with no leftover, and I have a negative. So I'm going to call this negative 1 times 2 cubed times 2 cubed, and I want the cube root of everything. Well, the cube root of negative 1, I could say negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. Well, the negative times the negative makes a positive, times the negative again makes it negative. So this actually works. This is negative 1. Cube root and the cube cancel, so I have 2. The cube root and the cube cancel, so I have 2 again. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2, times 2 is negative 4. My solution is negative 4. You're going to get plenty more practice with that one.